Hello, so today we're doing a combination of upper body and lower body strength using resistance bands and weights using dumbbells. So today I'm really excited because I just figured out a new way of doing incline press using resistance bands. I'm excited to share that with you guys. So I'm gonna go through the 4 exercises we're doing today, and then we'll do them together. So we're gonna start out warming up using a band. I'm gonna show you guys how we do this incline press. I'm real excited. So the difficult thing with this before is if you try and do an incline press, the band would slide around as you're pulling. So normally it's hard to do that incline. What I figured out is what I'm using are these pins. So I'm putting this right at belly button height, right here. So the band goes, try and do that so it doesn't ring in your ears. So the band goes underneath, so it's right at about where your belly button is. So when I go here and go forward, see how that band is pulling down at an angle? What that's gonna do is get more of those upper fibers of the chest, more up here by the clavicular head of that pectoral. So it gets more of that incline press without having to use an incline bench, no other equipment other than just anchoring that band low. Now you could do this with a door anchor just fine and it would stay where at an angle. So from here, I'm pushing my chest out, bringing my hands all the way back to my chest, and then pushing out towards the front, trying to keep my chest up. And that you should feel in your upper chest. Doing about 10 of these as a warm-up. That lower angle though really gets that upper chest fiber much more. You should feel that more in this part of the chest rather than down here in this part of the chest or in the sternum. So other people might have figured that out before I did, but this is new to me and I was excited to share it with you guys. So that is our incline press exercise for pushing, for a pushing exercise. Now we're going to do a pulling exercise with a row. So I'm going to bring the band up to chest level. From here, stepping far back away, so the band is pulling me forward and away. From here, I'm gonna pull back to my rib cage, pinching my shoulder blades together. So my thumbs are pointed sort of at an angle towards my face, pulling back, pinch the shoulder blades, and then all the way back forward. So you want to step back far enough where you have tension in the band through the whole movement. That's what's going to build your upper back and shoulders. Some of that bicep as well. And doing about 10 of these, warming up the muscle, getting some blood flow into the muscle. Let me step over here actually. So pulling to the rib cage and back. So those cover a majority of our upper body muscles with those 2 exercises. Now we're going to move to some lower body exercises. So the first one is going to be a walking lunge. Actually, so this works the muscles in the top of the thigh, some of the back of the thigh, and back of the hip. Primarily though, you should feel it right in here on the top of your thigh. So you're gonna grab a dumbbell in each hand, and what we're gonna do is step forward and kneel down, and then back. And then same thing on the other side, step forward, kneeling to the front, and then back. And you should really feel that working in these quads right in the top of your thigh. So doing about 10 of these each side. just warming up the legs. Now, if you need to, you can actually do warming up without the dumbbells. If it's a little too intense with weights in your hands, that is okay. This is just getting the muscles primed and ready for the exercise. Next, last exercise covers primarily the glutes, these muscles in the back of the hip. So for this, gonna take a dumbbell, just one. You're gonna put it right at your belly button, right in the front of your hips, and lay on your back, knees bent and about shoulder width apart. This is called a glute bridge, or let me know if you've heard another name for this. I've always heard this called the glute bridge. So you're gonna hold the dumbbell so it doesn't roll on you. And from here, pushing down through your heels, pushing your hips up towards the front. Doing about 10 of these. Hang on a second, just make sure the mic's not going into my chin. Now it's very important, you want to keep your knees apart. Don't let your knees buckle together. Keep those knees apart, pushing down through your heels. You should feel that engaging in the back of your hips and those glutes. Doing about 10 reps of these, getting blood flowing into your muscles. And relax. You can move the dumbbell off to the side and stand up. So those 4 exercises will cover a majority of our upper body and lower body exercises. Really wanted to emphasize into the glutes and the upper pecs are the 2 muscles I really want to develop more. So, give me a moment. So we're going to be doing these exercises in a superset, which means we're pairing exercises to get through the workout more quickly. So we're going to be doing a pushing exercise, immediately following a pulling exercise to get through the exercises quickly and efficiently. Supersetting is a great way to get through more exercises faster and still get a great workout. So what I'm doing is I'm adding an extra band to go to a full working weight, which just means what resistance is challenging for me at this level. So grab a band. If you did a warm-up with one color band, try and go one level higher to see how that feels. So we're gonna go right into set 1 of an incline press. Trying to anchor that band down at belly button level. So where it's flat right at your belly button. And then stepping forward till you feel that band pulling you back. Your hands should be up at chest level, and you want to have your hands out at elbow width. You don't want your hands in here. You want wide hands at chest level. From here, you're gonna push straight out to the front. You should feel that pulling you a little bit down and back. So you're resisting that motion, trying to keep your hands up at chest height. Now we're going for at least 10 reps. If you can only do a couple reps, the band is too heavy for you. And now if you feel you're being pulled back, you can always step forward with one foot to really focus in on your chest. You should feel this in the back of your arms and the front of your chest. So on the back of your elbow. Keeping those hands wide, keeping that tension on the muscle the whole time. So I'm keeping my chest up and my hands right at elbow width. So I'm not letting the hands come in. And I'm going until I feel like the muscle is burning, or I can't push another rep. Or another, actually, not one more rep, but I'm going until it feels like it's gonna be difficult to push 1 or 2 more reps. You can go all the way to where you can't do another one, but usually that causes a lot more fatigue and relax than it's worth in muscle gain. So, but you do want to go to where you feel tired. So going now to chest level, then we're going to go straight into a pulling exercise. So hands out in front, make sure there's no twist in the band, and the band's even on both sides. From here, you want your shoulders to pull forward. From this position, pulling all the way back to your rib cage, and then back forward. Trying to keep that chest up, pulling back, pinching those shoulder blades together. Realize I'm a little bit off camera. I'm trying to pull back far enough where I can feel it all the way out here. Because that's where you really build that muscle, is in that stretch position. It's fine to go all the way back to your ribcage, but we build much more out here. So don't cheat yourself out of half a rep by not going all the way out to the front. And relax. Now, the exact amount of reps is not as important as long as you're getting somewhere around 10 and you're progressing over time. So I like to, if you ever heard the term, a PR is a personal record. So some people like to compete against themselves. It's like a score. They want to beat their previous high score. So if you did 10 one time, try 11 the next week. See if you can beat that number of reps. But the exact number is not as important as doing good technique, good form, and what you feel in the muscle. So you should feel that muscle working. So now we're going to drop this down, going straight into our set number 2 of pushing exercises. Now, I'm going to be trying for 4 sets of pushing, pulling exercises today. Because the multiple sets helps you get more muscle built faster. So from here, stepping out to where I feel tension all the way through the movement. So I shouldn't start here where I'm halfway pressed out. I want to come all the way back so my chest is really in a stretch position, and then push forward. So getting that tension all the way through the movement, really opening up my chest, pushing my chest forward, going straight to the front. I'm not pulling inwards as I do this. I'm not doing like a fly. I'm going straight out forward. So if I pull inwards, it's actually going to take tension off of that chest. Now don't hold your breath on this, keep breathing. It's one of the reasons talking is helpful, because I have to remember to keep breathing. $12 and one more. $13. Man, I really like that variation though with the resistance bands. I've never been able to do this exercise with the resistance bands like this before. I very much like it. It's a lot nicer to not have to wheel in and out of bench as well. So I can just go straight from one exercise to the other. Much faster setup time with this. And so that lets me get a more efficient workout. I don't take too much time talking between. So if you're liking this sort of content, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button to let me know that this is working well for you. So now going into a row, going all the way pulled to the front, pulling back to your rib cage. Again, trying to keep those hands wide. So my hands are in line with my elbows. I'm really trying to bend my elbows, point it towards the back. So it's almost like I'm trying to elbow someone behind me. I did 13 one side, so I'm going to try and do 13 on the other. So 3 more. 2 more. I'm trying to keep good form though. 1 more. Last one. And relax. So that was set number 2 of pulling. So I'm going to go straight into set number 3 of pushing. So we're just going one to the next. Because while one side is working, the other side is recovering. From here, stepping out forward till I feel that stretch, pushing out to the front. Now I did 13 last time, I'm gonna try for 13 this time, but as we go in the sets, it can get harder to do the same number of reps. So if you can't quite get as many reps on the second and third set, that is okay. Just do what you can. If you're able to though, try and match those reps. It's called straight sets. There's when the reps are the same each set. 4 more. 10, 11, 12, and 13. Now the important thing is that you keep good technique all the way through the exercise. So if you feel like you can't maintain good technique, that's a sign that you need to stop. If you lose control of the exercise, then that's the number of reps you want to stop at. So we never want to be out of control, especially with weights or with resistance bands even. Either way, resistance bands are a little bit more forgiving than weights, but they still can be a problem. So going into a row, I'm gonna try something. And to just a quick loop around to shorten these bands slightly. Now you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I'm just doing it to be a little bit closer to the middle of the camera. It actually makes it a little harder to get the tension right between the two sides, so I wouldn't recommend doing it like this. I'm going here. So pulling back to your rib cage and then back. I need to step a little bit further away. So pulling back and forward. Now we're going for 13 on this one as well, because that's where I feel the muscles start to burn, where I'm getting that fatigue buildup. But if you can't do 13, just do what you can. I actually lost count. I think that's 8. So I'll go off that. 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And relax. All right, so that was set number 3. Now we're going right into set number 4. We're just back-to-back exercises because then we can get through the workout faster. It's a very efficient way of doing a workout program. It's to combine muscles into complementary sets. So stepping forward with the band anchored low, right at belly button height, because that gets you that 20-degree angle, give or take. And depending on how long your torso is, you might need to play around with the height a little bit. Might need to be a little bit higher if you're short torsoed, or if you have a very long torso, it might need to be, if you have a very long torso, it might need to be a little higher than your belly button. And if you have a shorter torso, it might need to be a little bit closer to your waist. So the goal is to be about 20 degrees, which is about like that, give or take. If it's not exactly that, it's not the end of the world, but. So stepping forward here, hands wide, chest out, feeling this in your upper chest, pushing out towards the front. Now, all the way back and all the way forward. Trying to keep tension on the band the whole time. If you feel like the band goes slack, step a little bit further away, because you need a little more tension in that band. Four more. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. And relax and step back. All right, now going into our 4th set of a row. This is our last upper body exercise. So going right at chest level. I'm gonna do a quick loop around the band. Again, you don't have to do exactly that. It just works better for me to not be off camera. So, band right at chest level, arms out in front of you, pulling to the back, to your rib cage. I'm gonna just adjust a little bit further back because I want this to be pulling me forward and pulling back to your rib cage. Now, if you want, you can put one foot back. That way, if you can feel a little bit more in balance, where the band's not pulling you over, that's totally fine. Really trying to bend my elbows. And relax. So that was our upper body work. Now we're gonna do some lower body exercises. And we're gonna shift from the bands to the dumbbells. Now, if you need advice on how to adapt an exercise for your equipment, maybe you have just dumbbells or just bands, let me know in the comments. I like to do a combination of the two so that we get a mix and try and help more people be able to do exercise. I want people to be able to be strong and healthy. So what we're going to do is a walking lunge. So you're going to step forward and kneel down on each leg once. So walking forward, kneel down, and that's 1 rep. So we're going to do 10 of these reps per side. So kneel and 2. Trying to keep your heel and toe on the ground the whole time. 3. We're feeling this in the top of the thigh. 4. 5. Now you want to keep your knee in line with your toe. Don't let it wobble in towards the middle. That's 6. 7. 3 more, 3 more. 8. 9. And last one, 10. And relax. Should feel burning on the top of your thigh in that one. I found for me, that hits the quads a lot more effectively than squats do. I just feel like I'm getting a better quad activation with that exercise. So now, I'm gonna go to a single dumbbell. And do a hip bridge. So careful getting down in this position. If you need to, set the dumbbell down on the ground, then you can lift it up into your lap. From here, we're gonna do a hip bridge. So, putting the dumbbell right on your waist, hold it there with your hands so it doesn't roll. From here, feet shoulder width apart, knees shoulder width apart too, and keep those knees out at shoulder width. Don't let them buckle inwards. From here, you're gonna push down through your heels, bridging your hips up to the front. So pushing down, you should feel this engage in your glutes. Really try and squeeze your butt as you do this to push with those glutes up and back. This is engaging those muscles in the back of your hips, all the way up and then all the way back down, keeping it controlled. Now try and not arch your back as you're doing this. Push those hips up and forward to really engage those glutes. Doing as many as you can, but at least 10. And that's where I'm going to stop at 15. Whew. So on the leg exercises, I need a little bit more time between sets. I find that it's much more fatiguing overall. So that's why I like the supersets for the pushing and pulling, because I find I can get through more exercises faster. I know I'm going to need more time in the leg exercises between sets. So how many people like to skip leg day or really dread leg day doing leg exercises? I know for me, that's always the most challenging part, is getting through legs. It's so much more draining. But I do it because I want to have healthy bones, healthy muscles, and strong hips, because that's what's going to keep my low back healthy, keep my whole system better. So that's why I train, is because I want to be able to live happy and healthy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love to, be buff, look stronger, have a better physique as well. Always trying to improve that, but more than that, I want to be strong, I want to be capable. And that's why I'm training, is to keep my muscle healthy, my bone healthy, and my body healthy. So. And the great thing about that is physique doesn't take nearly as much time, or physique takes much more time to build than just strength. It doesn't take very much to get a lot stronger. So, it's really encouraging it to take just a little bit of investment now, especially if you start in your 20s. And maintain that strength. It's so much easier than when you're 30, 40, 50, or later in life, trying to gain that strength back. So, I'm going to go into a walking lunge, one dumbbell in each hand, stepping forward, kneeling down to the ground, back up, same thing on the other side, and back up, and that's one. And for 10 of these, we're in set number 2 of walking lunges. Find this is an exercise that I really like to emphasize, that single leg strength and balance. I used to be much stronger in this, and I stopped doing as much lunging and quad work because I felt a little weaker in it, and it was difficult, and I regret not maintaining it, because the exercises you feel weak in are the exercises you really need to emphasize. No one likes to feel weak, and so we sometimes avoid things that make us feel weaker, but that is the weak points that we need to strengthen. It's true in a lot of things, in working out, in motivation in life, but especially here. So that's why I'm working at this, even though it feels like a weaker muscle exercise for me. I know that means I need to work on making it stronger. Oh, because it really burns up here in the top. And that's good. That means it's working. It's gonna get stronger, but it just takes time and dedication. So that's why I don't skip that leg exercise, even though it's difficult. All right, now working the glutes next. So, going to a heavier dumbbell. Now if you need to, set the dumbbell on the ground, off to the side, sit down, then you can lift the dumbbell into your lap. That way you don't have to worry about getting it into your lap while you're sitting down. From here, feet about shoulder width apart, dumbbell right at your waist, hold it with your hands. That's important. Hold this here so it doesn't roll on you. So from here, you're gonna push your hips up to the front. Now I don't wanna arch my back as I do this. I want my back to be stable. So trying to keep your back flat as you push up, squeezing your glutes together. So you should feel that right back here in the back of the hips. This is another exercise that I find a lot of guys especially don't do this one, and they have weaker glutes because of that. So I think this is a very important exercise for everyone. And unfortunately, a lot of men don't do this exercise for whatever reason. Why do you think that is? Let me know in the comments. love to hear your guys' take on why guys might avoid this exercise. Maybe it's like what I said earlier, where they feel weaker in this muscle group and they don't want to feel weaker. I know for me, this is not the strongest muscle group for me either. And that's why I'm doing it, because I know I need to be stronger in my glutes. I'm going to where I feel that fatigue building up. Two more. And relax, roll to the side. So the dumbbell goes to the side, and then have a seat. Whew. It might just not be as popular, because I know for women, typically, and this is not everyone, but I know I see a lot more female athletes working on their glutes than male athletes. Don't see them working on their glutes as much directly. So it's not to say this is everyone. It's just to say the trends I've seen. It's been harder to convince my male clients to do this exercise than my female clients. And I think that's unfortunate, because it's such a beneficial exercise. I know for me, I really feel the difference in my lower back when I've worked my glutes. I have less low back strain. I feel more stable. I don't feel like my low back is constantly as stressed. And it's helped me improve things like my squats and my other exercises to directly target the glutes. I always felt like squats were so much pressure on my spine. And now as my glutes have developed more, I feel less pressure, excuse me, less pressure on my spine doing those exercises. All right, so we're gonna do 3 sets. This is the 3rd set of legs. So this is always the hardest one, is the last set. So going for a walking lunge, staying straight and tall, stepping forward, kneeling down, back up. Same thing on the other side, kneeling down and back up. I'm really trying to bend my knee while keeping my heel on the ground, keeping my knee in line with my toe so it doesn't buckle inward. Really driving that knee forward as I bend down. Trying to do 10 each side. I think that was 7. And 7. This is definitely a muscle I want to develop to keep my knees strong. Last one, 10. And 10. Oh. Let's sit for a moment. Catch my breath. Think about how important these muscles are. If you're, you might not think about this when you're 20, But as you're 60, 70 years old, if you've done the work when you're young to keep these muscles strong, then when you get older, all of us tend to lose a little bit of muscle as we age, and about 1% muscle per year. So if you haven't done anything to maintain it, then when you go to need it, you need it, it's not there. So that's why I'm doing this, to keep these muscles strong, keep these muscles healthy. Even though it's difficult now, it'd be so much more difficult later. So that's why I'm doing this, even though it hurts now. Not hurts, but it is difficult now. If you think about it, if you're trying to reach down, pick something up, you want these to be strong to be able to support your weight. All right, last exercise. Same thing with this exercise in the glutes. So these glutes help support this whole back section. So if these are strong, it can help your low back feel good too, because your hips, your glutes can do the movement instead of your low back, or I can hinge at my hips instead of hinging at my low back to pick something up. So it's good to have a strong low back, but it's even better to have strong hips. So holding the dumbbell right at your waist, pushing down through your heels, bridging your hips up. There was one time I was doing a sumo deadlift and my legs, my hips were tired, so my low back rounded a bit as I was doing it. Felt a pop feeling, and the vertebra was putting pressure on the nerve instantly, and that was very painful. That's why I think it's so important to work the hips to maintain strong glutes so that doesn't happen. So I have more than enough muscle to control that movement. I'm not saying sumo deadlift is bad. I'm saying that you need to make sure that you're not compromising your joints to do it. Squeezing my glutes. All right. Last one. Oh, and relax. All right, so that was upper body and lower body strengthening. So we did 4 exercises to cover the upper body, or two for the upper body and 2 for the, excuse me. Sorry about that. So we did 2 exercises for the upper body, 2 for the lower body. If you like these sort of workouts and want to see more, I host these live streams at 11 a.m. Pacific time on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So hope to see you guys there.